Hi, guys. I am here with Mike. He's an expert in mortgages. So he's going to tell us about himself and his experience. I want you to get to know him because he's really good. So, hi, Mike. Thank you for the opportunity to get to pick your brain so my clients can make more informed decisions when it comes to mortgages.
And I appreciate it too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, known each other for a while, and every single time I speak with you, I walk away with more knowledge. And I thought it would be a great idea if my clients can take advantage and, in a way, kind of pick your brain too.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been, first of all, with Northpoint Mortgage. I've been with this company since 2009. And I'm pretty loyal, obviously. If I stayed with the company that long, I would have been happy to stay with my other company, but that's about when the housing market had a massive crisis. And I found out rather abruptly that our company was closing. And the guys from Northpoint had happened to reach out to me and they're like, you know what, if something happens and it hits the fan, we're here for you. And, you know, it was just a nice, easy transition, kind of similar to what I was doing before. But to go back even further, and this is dating myself, and you can see the gray hairs to show it. I started in this business in 2002. Found out rather quickly that I was not meant to be a programmer. A, I wasn't good at it, and B, I hated it. Because I mean, being stuck behind a desk for me is just not my personality type. I'm just not good at that. I need to be on the go. Yeah. If you saw my son, you'd understand because he's like a small version of me, and he's just very hyper and stuff like that. But that used to be me, and it's worked out pretty well so far. So yeah, I've been doing, I don't want to do the math, but since 2003.
A long time.
A while, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of decades, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And this, you know, the question that people ask about most often now is rates are higher. Where are rates going? What are rates going to do?
Yes. Tell us all about this. I mean, it's a very popular topic amongst my clients. And when I'm having a consultation with a first-time home buyer, all they know is rates are high. I can't buy.
Well, that stigma's out there. And when rates are low, the opposite stigma was out there. And that's why so many people bought. Rates are low. This is a great time to buy.
Yeah.
But you were there, right?
Yeah.
How many offers were you up against when you were doing that on average?
One time, 90 plus offers.
See what I mean? Okay.
It was crazy.
Yeah. It was basically free money, right? 2.75% interest rate.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen again, first of all. So we need to just pretend it never happened. Like if we sit and wait for rates to go down to 2.75, you're never going to buy a house, or you'll never move up or move down. You're just going to be sitting there forever because it took a global pandemic for rates to come down. And we certainly don't want that. You know, it was a massive, massive hit to our economy. And like we were saying earlier, you know, bad things for economy are good for rates. So we don't necessarily want to root for a bad economy. You know, we want a healthy economy and healthy rates.
Yes.
So where I was kind of going with that is this opportunity now, right? So because of the massive appreciation, 90 offers, right? That means the price is going to go up. So these folks locked into, you might be sitting on I have a 3.25. I would have had a lower rate, but I didn't have time to refinance because I was too busy doing everyone else's refinances at the time.
Yeah.
So,
I remember.
So you're sitting on 2.75 rate saying, I'm never going to move. I don't like my house anymore. It doesn't fit my needs, but I don't want to get out of this mortgage. The thing is, you've accumulated a lot of equity as a result. So you get two gifts. You get a low rate and you get a pile of equity. So if you really consider it, let's say you bought that house back then, and you probably would have bought a house anyway at 6.5% where it is now. You wouldn't have the equity they have now, not even close, because houses weren't going to appreciate at the rate that they did.
Correct.
So let's think about that. You're taking out a loan at a higher rate. You're taking out a lot smaller loan if you're moving equity over. If you're selling your property, you've got this huge pile of equity. It's essentially a gift of that market. So if you think about it, sure, you're borrowing at a higher rate, but you're borrowing a lot less than you would have had that market not appreciated.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's a great way to look at it and not be stuck in a home that you don't like.
You absolutely don't need to be stuck. And historically speaking, our rates aren't that bad. I mean, when I started, people were really, really excited to be refinanced. And this is dating myself again, but 6%. We were refinancing loans at 6%, and people were so excited. They were saving tons of money because they had 7.5%, you know? So historically speaking, we're moving into the low sixes now. We got some good news with rates last week. Powell said he can see his way to lowering rates in September. Rates are already coming down because of that. So we're getting some easing there.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a great time to get in before rates get too low, and then it's just a mess for buyers again.
Back to the battlefield again.
Yeah. And then another thing people are doing, so you've got this equity, right? You've got a low mortgage rate in your house. A lot of people are renting it, right? So build equity on two houses. You could take an equity line, you can take 5% down, you're going to need 5% down to buy the second home. So now you can buy that house you wanted. You've got the money for the down payment from your current home, and now you're building equity in two homes. So again, we're paying a little higher interest rate,
Yes,
but
yes.
we're building equity on 2 homes,
So, yeah, a lot of people may not think about that because of the risk, right? But if you're able to take the risk, right, I think it would be a great opportunity to be able to build equity in 2 homes. That could be build your portfolio. Next thing you know, you're buying your third home.
I was a landlord for years. If I can do it, you can do it.
Oh, there you go.
And it's actually great. I mean, as a landlord, you learn a lot of things. I learned how to fix everything. Like now if something breaks my house, I know exactly what to do. I never would have learned those things if I wasn't a landlord, but I had to fix stuff because, this is back in my younger years. I couldn't afford to pay somebody to fix it. So I just figured it out,
Yeah, yeah.
But you learn these things as a landlord, and it's a good skill to have to know how to fix stuff in your house.
Yeah, people are in a position right now to be able to take the risk and build wealth, which is what I would like to see. I want you to build wealth. And it's going to taking a little risk, just take that little risk. Do it. Anyway.
Yeah, but so now you've got if this is you just got a low rate for rents are high, right? What's the average rent on a 3 or 4 bedroom house right now in this area? $2,500, right?
About. Yeah.
If you've got a 2.75, 3% interest rate, that's going to cover your mortgage and then some that you took out earlier. You don't even have to dish out extra money to build that wealth.
Yeah.
It's a good
so long as
strategy.
you break even. But a lot of people think about it and they want to make money out of the rental. I think that so long as you break even, right? And sometimes you're going to have to build that little cushion for when something needs updating, something breaks, right?
100%. I'm huge on reserves.
Yeah, reserves. Thank you. A couple of years, just building your reserves, and then you can start thinking, okay, maybe I can take some profit out. So long as you can break even, I think, Mike, that's a great investment.
100% agree. And that's kind of what we're seeing with a lot of our investors. You see with your investors, if you can make that payment wash with the amount in your mortgage, it's a good investment because hopefully your property's appreciating at a certain amount every year. It should. This is a desirable area. People are still moving to Florida. I'm licensed in other states where the markets aren't quite as good, not quite as desirable, but people are still flocking to Florida for myriad reasons. That's a whole nother conversation. But, but yeah, you should keep building equity as your property still appreciates every year, but also somebody's making that payment. So it's paying down your mortgage every month as well.
Yeah.
So you're building equity in 2 different ways. You're paying down that mortgage, somebody's paying it for you, and you've got property appreciation.
Yeah, that's a smart move. So if you guys are thinking about this and this is something you're interested to learn more, why don't you reach out to Mike? We're going to put all his contact information in the bottom, in the description of this video, so you can reach out to him. As you can see, he's knowledgeable, experienced, and he will be happy to help you and help my customers because you guys are my clients. So he'll take good care of you. Just let him know that Judy sent you.
Absolutely.
And he'll roll out that red carpet for you. So.
Yeah, one of the other things we kind of looked at earlier was upsizing, right? Buying a bigger house or a smaller house. People are still, again, rates are driving the market right now. But another really cool opportunity out there is that we're seeing closing cost concessions, right?
We are.
How many did you see 2 years ago? 3 years ago when none, of course not. You had to waive everything. Waive inspections, waive appraisals.
A huge escrow.
Pay the difference between the appraisal and the appraised value and the sales price because the values were so high. So there's a lot more opportunity there. But also, and not a lot of people are using this strategy because everyone thinks they're going to be able to refinance. But I think this is worth considering. And we were talking about this earlier. If you can get a seller credit, which is pretty common.
Yes.
Let's say you get $10,000. There's a couple of different things you could do with that. You could do a 2-1 buy down. So let's say your interest rate's 6.5. That's going to get you lowered down to 4.5 in the first year, 5.5 in the second year, before it goes to the third year to 6.5.
Okay.
So you've got 2 years with really low interest rates by doing that. And $10,000 on the right price house could potentially do that for you. I like a permanent buy down because I don't like uncertainty. I like certainty.
Me too.
So I don't want to say, maybe I'll be able to refinance. I don't know when. So let's take that 10 grand and buy your interest rate down now. Because if you accept that you're going to have to pay closing costs no matter what, in a normal market, you're going to have to pay closing costs.
Yes.
But if you're getting free money from the seller, parlay that into a lower rate. I priced one out earlier today with $8,000 even on a $375,000 loan. I could get you a 5.875 rate.
Nice.
So I can already get you a rate in the 5s using the seller's money in this market right now. So you've just secured the house at a lower price. You can still have all your contingencies, your appraisal, inspections. You don't have to waive any of that stuff because this is a healthy market right now. And I'm going to get your rate in the 5s today.
That sounds great.
Right?
I mean,
I would do that.
Yeah, all day long. I mean, we're looking at the rates that we were dealing with back in 2018. So
okay, because we're racing the 2.75. That was a blip. So if we want to talk real, 5.875 today, pretty good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to talk to my client today about that.
Figure out a way to make it happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
So you want to talk about 2 homes, like a dual purchase, right? So what do you do if you have to sell a home? Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people get stuck, right, on that. And I want to get your perspective as a loan officer.
I have a couple of strategies, but I'm going to defer to you a little bit on the first one because I honestly think your best bet if you can do it is a contingency. And it's sort of like, it's a tough thing if you're buying a house. So the first kind of contingency would be to purchase a house with the contingency to sell your house.
Right.
And again, this is a conversation for jury later on. And the other would be to sell your house with the contingency to let your buyer find a house. These are both not ideal, right? In an ideal world, you could do the latter. You could find a buyer for your house. It's just going to give you as much time as you need to find a new house. So now you're definitely not going to be stuck. Or the second one's even tougher because I've pre-approved so many clients and they go in and they put the offer in with the contingency to sell their house. And with the market being maybe a little bit slower than it was, sometimes the sellers say, well, I don't want to take that. Because again, I like certainty. So do a lot of other people. They want to be certain that this deal is going to close
for sure
in a certain amount of time. Yeah. I put together a couple of strategies. I don't love bridge loans, first of all. Bridge loans do exist.
Right.
So what happens with a bridge loan is the mortgage company or the lender will take money. They'll give you money under a mortgage on your current home. They'll pay that off and you won't have payments for usually like 6 months. Mm-hmm. And then they'll take whatever equity is left and apply it towards the down payment on a new house. The problem is they charge you a fortune for it. So normally you're going to pay points on the payoff of the current home, and then you're probably going to get a high rate on that as well. So I don't love that. The strategy I would take is if you can qualify hiring both payments, would be to take an equity line for the down payment, but take extra. Make sure you have enough to not deplete your savings. Like take an equity line for 25, 30 grand extra if you can. That way, if you don't want to dip into your savings, just dip into the equity. I mean, you're going to pay that off when you sell your house.
True.
Right?
Yes.
So
that's a good strategy. Definitely.
It's cheaper than a bridge loan.
I've tried to. I never successfully closed on any because of all what you're explaining about bridge loan. It's a little bit more expensive. And at the end of the day, it just didn't make sense for my client. But
it sounds great too. So if those of you who are out here are considering a bridge loan and it's not with me, make sure you look at all the costs. Lenders.
Get his advice first.
Some lenders are pretty good at like making you look at the fun stuff and hiding the bad stuff, which would be the high costs of doing it, So make sure you take a look at that, a good hard look, because it adds up quickly.
Yeah, it does. And this is why you need a loan officer who's looking out for your best interest, who's going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, Someone who's going to break it down for you and help you understand what you're getting into. Because at the end of the day, it's your hard-earned money, And if you can have someone in your corner looking out for you, why not call Mike? This is not paid advertising, everybody. Friend Mike, he's knowledgeable, and that's why I brought him to you, because he knows his stuff. He's an honest guy, and he works hard for his clients. And
I'm pretty conservative by nature. So again, I work hard for my money too.
We all do, Mike.
So what I think about, and I try to put myself in the client's spot. What would I do in this position? So what I would try to do is minimize risk. That's what we were just talking about. Like that's a scary thought. What if I have to dish out my savings to pay for 2 mortgages? Yeah, I get it. Yeah. But if you've got 40, 50 grand extra on that equity line sitting there, there's no closing costs on an equity line. Most of the time, there's not going to be any closing costs. It'll cost you nothing to take it out. The interest rates will be pretty high, but you're not borrowing that much on it, hopefully.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I always try to say, what would I do in this circumstance? And being a conservative guy, I'm going to protect your money. I'm going to protect your investment because that's what I would do,
Yeah, that is the way to go. So one question that just came up, first-time home buyer, right? Because it's a very popular question. It's like, oh, they talk to me as if I was a loan officer. And I always try to tell them I'm not a loan officer. And I always say this. All loan questions go to the loan officer because I'm just not licensed. I'm a broker, right? But
just like I shouldn't be answering real estate questions about a contract, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we get by. The question I get, right? Because I get a first-time home buyer. We're having a consultation, right? And then he says, well, my credit is here and this is how much I make a month. And when I say to them, hey, you're going to have to apply for a loan, they just run away. And I want them to hear from you as to why a first-time home buyer, right, who doesn't know much about loans, should apply for a mortgage. Even if it's just to get qualified, just to find out what the price range or, what they...
I think there's probably a lot to unpack there. But I think a lot of it's probably fear of rejection, right? So they want to buy the house and they're meeting with the realtor and you can go look at the houses. But in the back of their mind, maybe they're afraid, what happens if I can't qualify?
Yeah.
What if I'm not good enough? What if my credit's not good enough? What if my job's not good enough? So I think that's part of it. And I think the other part is credit, which is fair. I think a lot of people say, well, if I can't buy a house, I don't want a hard inquiry at my credit. So there's a few things on that. First of all, we do a soft pull. If you want to do a soft pull for the pre-approval, we can certainly do that. We'll make sure you qualify before that. It's not going to affect your credit. It's not like when you buy a car and they pull your credit 74 times. I hate buying cars, by the way. It's like my least favorite thing to do in life.
Me too.
But no, it's one inquiry. It's not going to show up. So we can run the full pre-approval on that. And in terms of fear of rejection, no, it's just like you and I, we're just having a conversation. And then from there, I can tell you, yeah, you qualify. Congratulations. But if not, I'm not going to reject you. I'm going to take you under my wing and show you how to do this.
Yes.
Let's get there.
It's not a no. It's just a not yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
If you want to buy a house, I'm going to help you buy a house.
Great.
Whenever that might be. I'm not going anywhere. Unfortunately, I can't retire tomorrow because I got a kid to put through college eventually, maybe. But so I'll be here. It takes 20 years. I'll be here,
That's awesome. So tell me, what would be the plan if someone doesn't have the ideal credit or a credit high enough to get pre-approved?
Yeah, which we see all the time. And that's fine, We've all been young and made mistakes. So
Yes.
But a lot of times it can be fixed really easily. Sometimes just as simple as paying off an old debt or an old credit card that you forgot about. You don't even know why this thing's hurting you. A lot of times just paying off one charge off can boost your score 50, 60, 100 points even.
Wow.
Sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes it's not. If you had late payments in the last 12 months, that can be more challenging. That's going to need to season off. You might need to wait a year if you've got late payments recently. But if not, if your credit score is low and you don't have recent late payments, a lot of times we can help you really quick. Within a month even, we can just get those accounts paid down. I do what's called a rapid rescore, and then we'll have it updated usually in less than a week and get you your new and improved credit score.
Did you guys hear that? I mean, buying your house could happen in less than 60 days.
A lot of times.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No, I had one not yesterday, 2 weeks ago, a veteran, and he was like, I don't think I can buy, my score's 550. I was like, okay, first of all, what I pull might not be what you see on your end. It's usually lower, but sometimes it's higher. So in this case, it was almost spot on. It was 550. It was literally one account. We brought him up to 600. I pre-approved him. 2 weeks. I'm not kidding you.
That's amazing.
Yeah. He just needed to he found the cash to pay it. It was like $400. For $400, he raised his credit score 50 points really quickly.
In 2 weeks.
And got approved. This guy had no hope. Just like what you were talking about. I'm afraid of rejection.
Yeah.
He's approved. He's out there looking for houses.
Nice.
Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
That's fantastic. Who else can say that? Jeez. That's awesome.
What I wanted to drive home with you today is just the opportunity in this market that might not be there. Let's say rates do go down, which they will. It's cyclical. Rates always go down. So when that happens, there's going to be a lot more buyers to compete with. So I think let's take these strategies we just talked about. Let's buy a house now instead of waiting for more competition and things to go haywire again, because they will. Things are going to go haywire again. We're going to be working 80-hour weeks again. Get ready.
I'm ready for it.
Let's get ready. But now I just think let's just take some of this opportunity. Right?
Yeah. Especially because we are exiting the summer market, starting the fall market. There's, opportunity that exists now and more opportunity in the near future, in the next couple of months. So yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited.
Yes, I am excited too to put this out there and have everyone learn a little bit more about home loans and how these strategies can help you become a homeowner, become a home investor, buy a second home. The options are there. The opportunities are here for you to take advantage of.
And the other thing is, my wife will attest to this. I answer my phone, I answer my text, I answer my emails anytime. So you don't want to field loan questions, ask me questions. I will answer you anytime. If it's a night, weekend, it doesn't matter. If I'm up, I'm probably going to return your texts. So you can get quick answers. Yeah.
This is true. I text him and he answers no matter what. And he gives me the information I need when I need it, which is so important in this business.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Mike.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yes.